Welcome everyone. Today we have a video to look at buying artifacts and weapons in the game. Now when I first started the game, I'll ask myself why would anyone ever need those green artifacts and why would anyone buy the weapons from the blacksmith? But after a bit of calculation and comparison of the rates and numbers, this is actually very profitable and very good, and we should be considering buying those artifacts for the upgrade experience materials. In this video, we'll look at the different loots we get from the artifact dungeons and what we get from buying those artifacts. We'll also compare the efficiency and how often we can buy those artifacts. Similarly, we'll look into the blacksmith weapon shop, which you can buy the green weapons. We'll also look into the numbers behind those and compare the exact mora and resin cost for each of those. And why is it effective if we buy those? How much do we get out of them? Now before I show you guys where those vendors are, it's important for us to understand why is it actually effective to buy those artifacts. Now let's use the example for the artifact dungeon loots from Adventure 45. Let's say if I go into the dungeon and I get about 6 or 7 artifacts, I'm keeping one of my gold artifacts, I'm willing to use the 4 blue ones and the 2 purple ones as enhancement materials. And this in return will give me about 10,000 artifact experience. We're using the numbers over here for each of the artifacts. And similarly, let's say if I even willing to use the gold artifacts for the enhancement material, and I'll be getting 3 blue, 3 purple and 1 gold. This gives me about 15,000 experience. Now if you also want to check the different artifact experience in the game, you can click onto the artifact, you can see how much experience you get for each of grade of the artifact. You can see the green ones give us 840 artifact experience. Now if we come over to the shops over here for the vendors that actually sells the artifacts, for each of the green artifacts they will sell for 2000 mora, and there will be 15 of those artifacts we can purchase every week. So coming back to our notes over here, we'll be spending 30,000 moras for 15 green artifacts, and using the calculation of each of the green artifacts, we'll be getting 12,600 artifact experience. And now you may be wondering, hey, isn't that number lower than the 15,000 experience? Yes, but this is what you get for 20 resin. This is what you get for 10 resin. Keep that in mind. Because for 20 resin, we'll get 60,000 mora. And 60,000 mora means, it's double the 30,000, right? So which equals to 25,200 artifact experience per week if we actually buy from the artifact vendors. And this number is definitely greater than this one if we're just looking for the artifact experience. But also keep in mind, in the artifact dungeons, you might find artifacts that can be useful for the Monstadt and the sap stats, and this doesn't do that. So although you get more experience, you will not be getting the artifacts of the higher grade. This is mainly for us who are missing the artifact experience to get your artifacts into the higher grade. Let's say if you want to get your golden artifacts to the higher grade, if you're looking for experience, you can do this method. Now this is actually a big surprise to me as well. I was first able to discover this knowledge from this particular post by Bokobu Root over here. Thank you for him for posting this one. And after going to the details and after finding the vendors, I realized this is actually very profitable. We'll also do similar things for the blacksmith. But let me show you where to find those vendors in the game and how we can profit a little bit every week by getting more artifact experience for the less resin cost or the less mora cost. Now if you haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so. Make sure you also turn the bell on for the latest news as I find more of them for us. You can see that we're really dedicated for Genshin Impact. We'll have builds, guides, tips, news and events updates for everything that's Genshin Impact related. Now there are 3 artifact vendors in total in the game at the moment. One is located in Monstadt and 2 of them in the Ring Harbor. The one that's located in Monstadt is between this warp point and the winery or the bar shop. As we travel towards the location from the warp point, we'll be looking for NPC with a hat, and NPC is the jeweler. I have never spoke to this NPC before until now, and I was like, oh, she actually sells something. So after going to the NPC, she'll be selling you a full set of the Adventurer's Pocket or the Adventure set. And this particular set is not a big deal. We're not here to use the set, but rather we're here to buy it and allow this shop to go on to cooldown. You can see this shop is actually having a usually lower cooldown, about 5 to 7 days. The other shops will have a 7-day cooldown for the artifacts. And as you can see in the replays, because I came to the shop, I'll be buying them after our calculations, because we're getting more experience for the artifacts by buying each of them. Now there are 2 artifact shops located in the Ring Harbor. The first one is right next to the jewelry shop, so it's on the other side of the jewelry shop. The second one is located over here, so I'll show you guys the locations and replays of both of them. As we travel from the warp point, what you're going to go for is you're going to go for the diamond shop. And as you travel to the diamond shop, what you're going to see is on the other side of the stairs, this shop usually opens at night. And in order to find the shop assistant for the shop, you have to go to midnight. When it's nighttime, the NPC will appear. Now if the NPC does not appear, log off and log back in, and this will work as well. By speaking to her, you can now buy another 5 set of the artifacts. They cost the same, they give us the same artifact experience, which is very nice. Finally, coming to the last artifact vendor in the Ring Harbor, it's located where I'm standing over here. And after coming to the teleportation point, what we can do is we can jump right off, and you'll be looking for this particular NPC. So coming over to this NPC with a basket behind his back, so Zhanshu here is going to sell us the last 5 artifacts. And what this allows us to do is every week we can spend 30,000 Mora for the 15 artifacts, and this will be a boost to the artifact experience we can earn. Now that we know it is actually profitable to buy artifacts from the shops and actually use them for the artifact enhancement materials after adventure level 45 with the earning of 60 Mora per 20 risen. This also works with the blacksmith shop. So after checking the blacksmith shop, each of the blacksmiths actually sell 5 of the green weapons, and those cost 30,000 Mora for total, and this is actually repeatable daily, so the shop resets daily. We can do this 7 times a week. And this will give us a total of 6,000 weapon experience. Now unfortunately, both of the blacksmiths sell the same weapons, so if you buy from one blacksmith, the other blacksmiths won't sell those weapons. So in total, we can get 5 green weapons a day and 35 green weapons in a week. And you might be wondering, hey, how would you compare how much efficiency you can get from those weapons? What we can do is, we can use the new magic enhancement ores as a comparison. You can see here this will cost us 10 risen, and after spending 10 risen, we'll be getting 60,000 weapon experience with the cost of 3 of the magic ores. So this provides us with a good reference to comparison to see how much we can get from buying from the blacksmith. After working out the numbers, we can buy 35 green weapons from the blacksmith in a week, which give us 42,000 weapon experience. This will cost us 21,000 Mora. At the same rate, if we actually were spending for the magical ores for the same risen cost, this will only give us 35,000 weapon experience for the magical ore crafting using the blacksmith system on the patch 1.1 system. So the difference we'll make from the blacksmith is about 7,000 or 1,000 weapon experience every day if you're planning to spend risen on the blacksmith. Now unlike the artifacts, you might not be short on the weapon experience because you can get the minerals from the free dailies, you can get minerals from the respawns. So it might not be the case for you. This is effective if you're actually short on Mora, but I think the artifact is actually really good. For the blacksmith weapons, it is more of a personal choice. If you short on the weapon experience, you can do it this way because it's more effective than actually spending on the enhancement ores from the blacksmith. But if you have a lot of those stockings saved up, you don't have to do it this way. So this is the optional one. So to summarize this video, by buying from the shops from the artifacts and also the blacksmith, we're looking at about 10,000 artifact experience more effective from buying those artifacts using Mora. And also if we're buying from the blacksmith, we're looking at about 7,000 more weapon experience by using this way. Now keep in mind, this guide is under the assumption that we're adventure level 45 and plus, and we can actually get 60,000 Mora from the risen flowers, from the Mora flowers. Now if you cannot get 60,000 Mora from the flowers, it is still effective, but you might not get this much value out of it. Because in comparison, you can still get some good stats from the artifact dungeons. But it's good to be aware of this because after adventure level 45, if you need artifact experience, you know where to go with the vendors. Now if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and also turn the little bell on for the latest news. I'll be looking towards to make more builds, guides, tips and news and event updates for us as we come further into the game. And as always, I wish you guys the best of luck with capturing and have the most fun in exploring this wonderful world.